Hi everyone! Today I'm really excited to talk to you about The Expanse Season 5. The first 3 episodes. I get to give you guys some crazy spoilers since the spoiler embargo has lifted. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief recap of the first 3 episodes. If you want a more detailed recap, episode by episode, you can head to mamasgeeky.com. I'll have that right there on the homepage for you. But the first 3 episodes of The Expanse Season 5 are now available to watch on Amazon Prime Video. And trust me, you guys, as soon as you start watching this, you are not going to want to stop. I am thrilled to have the whole season, besides the finale already, and to have seen it. But these first 3 episodes, they really know how to suck you in, which I did say over on my review that I put up last week. It's a great start to the season. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing, which I love, and I cannot wait for them to all come back together because you know they are, and it's going to be epic. But this gives us a lot of really interesting storylines. So let's talk about what happened in The Expanse Season 5, the first 3 episodes.
Hey, Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel.
Okay, guys, so fair warning, there are going to be some massive spoilers for the first 3 episodes of The Expanse Season 5. I am going to touch on all the major plot points, so if you have not yet watched it and you want to go into these episodes spoiler-free, stop watching now, but come back later so we can discuss in the comments. Okay. So the entire season starts off with these scientists that have discovered this asteroid that has broken up into a bunch of different pieces of rock. They get boarded by Naomi and Marco's son, Philip, and some other pirates. So you know, Marco's involved because we know that Philip is working with Marco at this moment. And they take the data from the data scans and then murder the scientists. So you're like, whoa, there's something seriously going on here. And don't forget about it, right? Hold on to that because that's really super important. I kind of forgot about it. And by the time the end of episode 3 happens, you're like, whoa, okay, I should have totally remembered that. At the same time, over on Tycho, Fred Johnson has found this picture of Philip and knows where he is and tells Naomi. Naomi has asked him a while ago, hey, if you see my son, let me know. So he says, hey, found him. And she ends up eventually telling Holden she is going to go see him herself. She doesn't want Holden with her. She's going to do this herself. So Holden stays on Tycho, where he gets into his own bit of trouble. So Holden is trying to convince Fred that they need to get rid of the proto-molecule that is left. Well, guess what? In these next 2 episodes, this comes back to bite them in the butt that he did not do this. Someone else is after the proto-molecule. Monica, if you remember the reporter, she says she has some news for Holden. She calls him and he ignores her at first because he's Holden and he does that sort of thing. Well, she ends up getting kidnapped, thrown in a shipping container, sent out into space where she tries to escape the shipping container because she doesn't realize she's in space. And of course, doing so, loses oxygen, passes out, almost dies. Holden and Fred and Bull, they end up coming in and rescuing her. Yay! But she's in the hospital and she's really ticked and she says, listen, somebody is coming for this proto-molecule. Don't be idiots. You guys, you need to do something about this. And listen, Holden's been trying to convince Fred of that all along. Well, eventually they realize that the ship that was going to pick up the shipping container is still en route. So they've decided what they are going to do is they are going to put a team of people inside, soldiers really, inside the container to completely surprise whoever it is that tried to capture her and is coming after the proto-molecule. Now that's the storyline for them over the course of the 3 episodes. Also, we learn that, like I said, Naomi, right? She was going to go see Philip. So she does end up going to see him. She confronts him. She's talking to him. Hey, I know what you're going through. He's like, yo, everything my dad said about you is true. You're horrible and I don't need you. And she's really upset. And then what happens? He totally betrays her and kidnaps her. So that's where she's at the end of episode 3. It's crazy. So we've got Holden trying to go up against whoever these infiltrators, these people are that are trying to get the proto-molecule, and they've kidnapped Monica, although they got Monica back, but they don't know that. And then we've got Naomi, who's been completely kidnapped. Now, where is Amos? Well, Amos has gone back to Earth, to Baltimore. This person who helped him out when he was a young kid, Lydia, she has passed on. And he goes to just make sure, I guess, check up on her affairs and make sure everything's okay. When he shows up at her house, the door is answered by this old man named Charles. And we don't know who this man is at first, but it turns out that they've been married or at least living together for a very long time. Seems that they were in love and were very good to each other. Amos asks, how did she die? Apparently it was of natural causes. And this is what I love about this, is that we get to learn a lot more about him and where he came from. It turns out, he was working at this brothel, basically. It sounds like he was actually forced to be a young male prostitute as well, because they said, you worked there until the Johns didn't want you anymore. You got too old, and then he became the muscle after that, which is really, really sad to learn that that's his backstory. I can totally see how that turned him into this person who kind of shuts everyone out and seems to try to cut off his own feelings. Totally makes sense, right? If that's where he came from. Well, Lydia had helped him out. Eventually, he was hired to kill this man, Eric, and instead he turned on the person who hired him. And he told Eric that, listen, you need to protect Lydia and you need to keep her safe. So Eric had given Lydia this house, and he was going to be kicking Charles out of the house. And Amos goes to see Eric and say, listen, Lydia's dead, yes, but she loved Charles. Charles loved her, so she's still here in spirit. I want this offer to extend towards Charles. Now, Eric is terrified of Amos, clearly. Turns out his name is Timothy, by the way. He has killed this man, Amos, and taken his name. So that's not even his real name. So this shows what a different person he was. And Eric even says, you've changed. So Eric was really scared, thinking he was going to be killed, wasn't sure what was going on. He even tests him by leaving his gun near him. And Amos is like, you don't need to test me. Listen, the reason I'm here is I just want to make sure that Charles is fine and can live in this house. And Eric is like, oh my gosh, yes, that's fine. Totally cool. I'm cool with it. No worries. Kind of backs up. He's clearly very scared of him. So that's where we leave Amos. He is on Earth. So Alex has gone off to Mars to hang out with Bobby Draper a little bit. They're researching all this Mars weapons that have been being sold. If you kind of remember from the end of season 4, she's really diving deep into it and digging in. He does stop by his ex-wife. Anyway, he stops by her apartment, and she says, like, listen, things here are crappy on Mars. I mean, he can tell by looking around, businesses are going out of business. They're shutting down. Everywhere has apartments for rent. So it's really tough times there on Mars. It's partly why, too, they're shutting their military down, and that's why they're selling all these military weapons. But his wife basically tells him, like, we don't need you anymore. Go away, and you ruined our lives, more or less. He even has a little video call with his son who is away on a field trip, and he ends it with, I love you, and his kid just, like, stares at him, like, I don't love you back, basically. So things are not too good with Alex and his family. However, he's diving into all this stuff with Bobby. They're trying to figure it out. They notice there's this officer. She has this officer on her list of leads. And he's like, no. He can't be involved. I worked with him. No. And she's like, well, maybe. And he's like, okay, well, I'll find out. So he kind of goes with this girl to a bar. And she's totally trying to pull information from him, right? She's mentioning Miller. And she's like, how did that happen? Oh, that's very interesting. What happened here? It was very obvious that she's shady. I found it very obvious. Apparently he didn't. Well, she gets him drunk and then sends these people into where he's staying, his room, to try to get more information from him. They shoot him up with this like truth serum stuff, and it seems like they're going to kill him. But what happens is Bobby bursts in and kills them first. Yay! So Bobby totally saved Alex's life, which I kind of love, and I love Bobby. Of course, as we know, Bobby is actually working undercover for Avril, who is on Luna. She did get to catch up with Amos over drinks real quick as he passed through Luna on his way to Earth, which I thought was a little fun tidbit. They had their little flirting whatever going on that they have sometimes. It's very interesting. I thought that was a really fun moment. A little comedic throw in the middle of all this drama and stuff. But anyway, now she's gotten these scans from the scientists. If you remember from the beginning, this meteor that broke up into a bunch of different pieces, this asteroid that broke up. And she's brought in a separate scientist, right? She wants a second opinion on it. And she's like, what is going on here? And it turns out, this thing had stealth tech all over it. So she's kind of putting together the pieces that I think Marco is like literally throwing a rock at Earth and trying to, like, if this was all together and it hit Earth, it would have done some seriously major damage. And she's like, luckily it broke up, but do you think he just XNS-1. He's got this stealth tech from Mars that he's putting all over this asteroid so that we won't detect it. And we want our watchtowers here are always facing Mars, who don't even care about blowing us up anymore. And they're not watching where this asteroid could be coming from. I think there's going to be more. And we need to get the military. We need to move them. And it doesn't work. They're like, no, you're crazy. What, you're coming up with all these random theories. That's not going to happen. Now, Drummer is out with this band of pirates, and you can tell she's still seriously broken over Ashford being, sent out the airlock, and she ends up finding his ship. And she finds his ship. They've taken a bunch of stuff, but they haven't salvaged the whole thing. And she even says she knows it was Marco, and she knows it was done as a message. Like, come after me and I'll kill you. Here you go. You can see this. Now, she feels like there was not anything really left. However, she does end up finding, after some serious, they have to, divert power and all this stuff, but she gets a data core, a backup data core, where it actually has Ashford and Marco talking. And they're talking about basically throwing rocks, Ashford's like, it doesn't make sense to throw him at Tycho or here. You really want to hurt the inners. And so you basically find out that yes, Marco's plan is to be throwing these rocks at Earth, and hopefully one will make it through the atmosphere and just absolutely obliterate Earth, because that's Marco and he's a terrorist and he's a horrible person. Well, then we get to the end of episode 3 at the very, very, very end. And guess what happens? A stealth asteroid makes it past the asteroid detectors and hits Earth. And it looks like it is going to be causing some serious damage. And that is where they leave you. So we have Naomi kidnapped. We've got all this stuff going on with these infiltrators that are trying to get the protomolecule. And we've got Holden and Fred Johnson planning on just filling that cargo container with some soldiers to take out whoever these people are. They're going to expose themselves. So hopefully in episode 4 or very soon we will find out. We have Alex with things not going so great at home, but Bobby has just saved his life, and they are starting to figure out some more stuff about these deals, these shady deals that Mars has been doing with their weapons and warships, and that all this technology and stuff is actually going to Marco. We have, obviously, Marco has gotten this asteroid through, and it has come to Earth, where Amos still is, after we've learned some pretty big information about his past. So that's kind of where we're at. And Drummer, of course, she's just not okay. She's kind of a hot mess right now, and she's broken a little bit, but, I mean, rightfully so. And so that's more or less where we're at. Like I said, if you want a more full, detailed recap, episode by episode, you can head to mamasgeeky.com. If you've already seen these episodes, tell me what your thoughts are down below. I think this was the perfect 3 to pair together. A great way to start the season, catch up on everything, and then a great cliffhanger to make you wait for wait for the next episode. It's crazy. It literally ends with the asteroid just Earth. So we'll see what's gonna happen. It gets crazy. It gets crazy. I think this might be my favorite season yet. We'll see. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Starting next week, we'll be going and doing the same thing, but it'll be just 1 episode instead of a recap of 3. And I'll be giving a spoiler recap and a little bit of a review as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Like I said, you definitely want to subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. You can always follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Mama's Geeky over there. MAMASGEEKY. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys. The Expanse Season 5, Amazon Prime now.